So today we are going to make an awesome video about how to get from a 2D logo to basically a 3D logo. And what we are seeing right now is basically the draft that I made that is like still very rough. And then you're about to see what Chao made out of that.
Hello, everybody. I'm Chao. Today we actually just want to going through this kind of a simple pipeline from 2D Illustrator file to a 3D model with Maya. Here actually is what Georg designed the logo, relatively simple after the first look. Basically, it's actually 5 pieces, symmetrical pieces, and kind of like form the shape of a shuttle camera. And then in Illustrator, first of all, of course, we bring in this image as reference, and afterwards we will start to draw over it. Of course, it would be nice if we could set the opacity a little bit down, so we can clearly working on it without like the background too outstanding and interfere the view. Okay, I come to this kind of like a very simple build up. So basically it's one circle and with the bar shape, which actually arrange in this kind of really like a 5 bordered shape, a symmetrical shape form. And afterwards use a function which can form the shape by deleting all the unnecessary parts and or keeping the parts which is necessary. And of course then afterwards a little bit transform by making the corner a little bit circle, beveled instead of this kind of sharp corner. So afterwards, it's very quickly coming out to this kind of result. So that's really simple and straightforward Illustrator. Now we can go towards the pipeline to Maya. One very important thing about this pipeline is after you're working, you have to save a copy, which is basically, we can try to say this for Maya. So when we save it, very important is here the version. Maya only support Illustrator 8. It's a very, very old version, but unfortunately Maya only works with this version. So we save as Illustrator 8 and save out. It's okay, that's all. So now let's move to Maya. What I have here is actually Maya 2017. 2017 already has a really built-in very nice function to directly import and build 3D objects from 2D Illustrator file, which actually is here. We call Illustrator Illustrator objects. I don't know when Maya has this version, but before it's a really complicated pipeline. You have to go to surface, you have to make curves, and then you have to loft the curve, have to bevel the curve, a lot of process. But now it's really everything simple and straightforward. So I think the default is pretty much like this. This is all the default value. You can choose import curve or import bevel. Of course, if you want to have 3D directly, I would recommend import bevel directly. Leave everything as default because you can still changing afterwards. Let's see, create. Then they ask you to choose which one. So actually just now I actually save another file, but I can just use this file directly. Then I say open. Here we are. Then directly into Maya and in 3D. So it's really quick from this shape. I mean here the graphical part to the 3D model. Okay, of course, till this stage it's still not really workable. You can see it's the pivot is far away. It's also here. You can see it's really not high resolution. It's things to be improved. Okay, about first, we have to a little bit check out all the setup. I think one of the most important thing is here, this bevel plus one. I think it's also easier to see here in this user interface. Normally people were working on, and this is one of the three most important attributes here. So we can try one by one. So for example, we can width. Width is actually how the bevel coming out or coming in. I think we probably just leave it like 0.1 as a default. It looks good enough. And we have depth. Depth is pretty much means depth of this bevel. It's not means the thickness of the 3D model. It really means the bevel. We can see more clearly when you see extrude depths getting more. See, then you will see the difference of the depths and extrude depths. See, the depth is basically actually the bevel depth. So okay, let us leave it like this. Okay, now I'm happy with all the setup. I'm happy with the thickness. So actually, I would recommend don't actually directly working on this. I would probably like giving a copy and then working on a copy to do all the modification. Why? It's because it's nicer to keep a backup copy and from the original data. So for example, if I really like, okay, does not look right. My Illustrator is it's really somewhere is broken, does not look right. I want to working on Illustrator again and coming back to see the 3D effects again. Okay, make a example. For example, this is a file. So if I say, okay, this is really weird. I don't like it, or maybe I just want to delete it. Then I save again, save as. So remember to save as Illustrator 8. Okay, so now my file is already saved like this. The best part about this Illustrator object is you can always reload.
Oh.
You can always update. It's kind of like a direct pipeline between Illustrator and Maya.
It's like a dynamic link.
Yeah, exactly. So you can whatever you're working on this. I going back. I want to think it still looks good with things back. I save again. Of course, you still have to remember. Don't save any other version instead of Illustrator 8. And then you're coming back. Anytime, just say reload. Everything's back. So that's why you better keep the original data. Don't lose it because it will save you a lot of trouble afterwards. Okay, then let's see how we modify it. So of course, first of all, the pivot center, which pretty much is here. Okay, normally actually I always have a shortcut myself, but okay, center pivot is here. So this is pretty much centered object, and of course the next step would be you really move the object back to its original pivot point, 0, 0, 0 point. And then afterwards, of course, a lot of people should know, because here has all this value. You don't need this value because if you later animation, this value is redundant. So of course, the most step is of course freeze transform. So everything freeze, freeze, freeze. So make everything 0. Now it's perfect 3D model out of a simple Illustrator file. And then you can give in different material. For example, of course, I want to actually separate all these things. The easiest way is I first separate everything. I have my shortcut. Okay, I always use shortcut. So I have history delete. Then you have a look. I have actually now 5 parts. Then you can do anything about all these 5 parts. And also something like this, because it's low resolution. I want to have a high resolution. So of course I want to see the subdivision. I have 3, but after 3, you can see sometimes here has a really ugly, I don't know if you can see, has a really ugly, like this kind of wrinkle thing. That's because subdivision don't have enough curves to support the edges. So what we can do is, of course, make this, and then we go for the extrusion, and we make some offsets of it.
Oh yeah, you make some
Yeah, of
Group
course, I
cuts,
think
right?
better
That's
to make a
something.
little bit more offset. Maybe
Mhm.
one is should be enough. Okay, let's see. And now we have really supporting edges here. Actually, you can do more by connecting all this with curve with edges. But okay, for ours now, I think I just leave it. I have a look if all the things is okay. See now all the wrinkles gone. That's because they have enough support. It's already good enough. So you can do the same for the other four, and then afterwards. So that's why 3. Okay. We can have this, or maybe we can have this. So you now see that's the geometry coming out. And then we can always apply different colors. For example, we can apply, actually I'm using V-Ray, but any other traditional Maya shader should work as well. And this actually, you can load the image. I already export image. So you can load image and then you can pick the color. So I would say I want to have this orange color. Yes, this is orange color. And I want to make everything plastic. Plastic basically means high reflection. So we just go for the high reflection. We first leave the glossiness as 1. If you want, of course, if you want nice this kind of matte plastic, you can giving a little bit glossiness, and then things looks like a matte surface. But for now, I want to keep everything sharp, clean reflection from the plastic surface. So now we can basically middle mouse drag to it. Okay, if you don't like this wireframe over the shading group, just switch off so you can see it. So same thing, you can then duplicate another shading group by then changing the color. So this time I say, okay, I pick green color. Okay, done. I have the green color, and then I can either drop it, I can also right click to existing. I have material tool. So yeah, so that's pretty much that's it. Then at the end you can get a reasonable 3D shape geometry from Illustrator file, and which can be used for later for animation. Yeah,
Okay,
that's all.
really great, Chao. I think it was a very good explanation. I think it's great. So yeah, you saw the quick tutorial. I think it's pretty simple. Were a few steps that you have to keep in mind, like this saving always as this Illustrator 8, because Maya can only work with that, like
Yes.
Chao told us today. So have a great day. Take care.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.